Okay, there's a lot going on, and I was thinking about this project, and I don't have enough space on my computer and on my external hard drive to have very long videos. So some of the preparation for this tutorial is offline, but I tried to document and tell you what I have done. So my name is Maria Stone. I'm an astronomer in Helsinki. Here's my website, astronomygo.com, and today's video tutorial part 2, the topic is to sift through the data and understand EON reports. So today also we are not even doing really anything with the data, but we are organizing and preparing our files, our procedures in order to start working with the data. So that's takes time. You have to be patient, but if you organize everything correctly, then you will do the next steps faster and eliminate error. I have divided into two parts my document, and here's why, because if I only had the research notes, then it would just be research notes. But I'm also making a video tutorial, so it has to be understandable to people. So it's a communication. So I have these kind of explanations and things related to the video tutorial here. And what I really need to record um, for my project research notes, which will probably go either into the published manuscript or into the record that is mandatory so that this science procedure is reproducible, because it is important when you work on a science experiment or any kind of science procedure that another person should be able to do the same thing. And so you have to keep records, or you want to do, it doesn't have to be another person, but you might want to do the same thing. And so you need to keep those records. So I decided to create kind of this column in order to emphasize the very important things. So, and I will try to keep it relatively short. I said relatively short, meaning I made, uh, um, so we'll see how far we go, how we go through this whole thing. So what am I trying to do today? Well, first, let's start with the prayer. So thank you so much, God, that you gave us the opportunity to start working on this project. Let's celebrate these beginnings, the first few steps. We pray for wisdom to tackle correctly all of these steps, for encouragement not to get discouraged as we have questions or stumble on something. We ask for your blessing, and I hope that this tutorial brings good fruit, that you bless this tutorial to um, give good results and good influence on people who watch it. In the name of Jesus, amen. So I'm trying to sift through the data, um, and I'm trying to go through the EON and EOR reports, because EON and EOR reports, what is it? EON report means end of night report, and EOR report means end of run report. I have to say that I am maybe slow, but I am thorough. I am maybe slow. I don't know how other people are, because I work in a vacuum. So, but maybe uh, I'm slow, but I'm thorough. I might take a longer time, but I'm detail oriented and usually avoid mistakes. It takes time to keep everything in my brain to architect and construct this architecture that is holding all the information bits from different sources that I need to do the project. And it's hard when you switch projects because you have to close one kind of building of a project in your mind and open another one. And if I have stress outside of the project, like home, family, finances, then it affects, how focused I am. I would say affects my focus. This is just from my personal experience. I don't know how other people, and I wanted to share with you a personal story about uh, my dad teaching me driving. So when he was teaching me to drive, or when or he would drive and I would be in a car, he gave me this advice that when you are behind the wheel, don't think about anything else. Just focus on the road, what is happening on the road. Don't start thinking about your ex-boyfriends, relationship problems, this or that. Focus on the road. So when I work on a project similarly, I have to put everything away and focus on the project. Um, Even I would say keep music away. Sometimes I have to be silent in order to work on science projects. Also, if I don't understand something, I don't do it. I do something only if I understand it. So sometimes I have to stop and read up on something, or I have to stop and think so that I am confident that what I have done is wrong. If it is a value for a parameter? Is it a guess for a parameter? Is it this step, that step? If I don't understand it, I don't just do it because somebody told me to do. I need to understand why, and I need to approve in my mind that it is correct. So here I wrote to myself in research notes that I need to put path to data directory. So my path, how do I do that? Here is my directory, Dusty Quasars, and I keep it in my research directory. And then let's say I will be working on this one quasar. Here is the working data folder. So I can also use the terminal in order to navigate to that directory. And if I'm in that directory and I do pwd path to working directories, then I get my path and I can copy and put it in here. Okay, and we click. So it is saved. We can put it in smaller. And then a link to EON report. Today, I will focus on 1 day report from the 2023 15 night, and I already have it open. How do I get this link? I have received it into my email after the end of night. So as an observer, you actually get an end of night report, and we will see what it is. So it's a link. That way, if I click on it, it comes here. And the proposal ID. Let's write the proposal ID because we will always need it. Color it green. Okay, now we have this, Good. And for myself, I have also these research notes that I also have this, I can add a proposal ID. So a summary. So this video tutorial I'll probably put online, but for my personal records of the research notes, I also recorded here. So we did this one. I can put green, right? We did it. Maybe I can fill the whole cell in green. It's more clear. Now let's review the aim of the project and review what I have done in the past. So the aim of this project is to reduce and analyze spectroscopy data from the Node telescope. This is our aim. And it is an open science tutorial. And I hope to demystify science project work to the audience. And this has been recorded in a tutorial 1, right? We explained in more detail. So I wanted to review to review the bookmarks. That's something I have done myself. So what I have done in my browser, I have a project folder of tabs and bookmarks, and one of them is called working folder. I like having this working folder because then all of the links are there that I need to work on that project, and just with one click, right click, open all, I can have a browser full of all of the websites and documents, online documents that I need to work on. So like this. But now maybe I close them all. So in this case, I have in my working folder my manuscript in Overleaf. I have NASA ADS, my tutorial notes, my to-do list, the directory to Google Drive, and my EON reports. There were 4 nights of observation. Today we focus only on one, the 15th. So review the bookmarks. Review the files and links. So I sort of did because so in my kind of work, I have this hard drive on which I have a lot of my files, and I have a research directory. One of the research projects is dusty quasars. I have, one for the observing proposal, and I started compiling everything there. One for literature that will be much later. I have the raw data that we have downloaded last time and a copy of it, the working data, so I don't have to mess up and worry about it. I can do anything I want in the working data, and if needed, if I mess up, I can copy again and start working again. So I have here for the 15th, and actually copied all the files pertaining to one quasar into one directory, QSO 103. And I also have my hard drive research projects. I have started how-to procedures there, where I will be putting my procedures, and files pertaining to the obscured quasars as well, such as video tutorial notes, my research notes, some other the observing run preparation notes. So I have many places where I store and document things related to records related to this project. And here I added the EON reports to the bookmarks working folder. Yes. We have already, so what did we do last time? we downloaded the data from Node Archive, and I would say summary is that we have a directory into which we downloaded all the files from the Node observations, and these files are now ready to be processed by the astronomer. And even though it looks funny, I don't know, but I actually write paragraphs like this for me as well, even if nobody is reading my research notes. So I don't just jot down one or two words or key parameters, but in actual sentences, I write out kind of what I have done. And I think it helps me to think about the project more clearly. And also, if I haven't worked on it for a while, it helps me to um, read those notes, and it brings to my memory really fast what I have been doing and what I was thinking. So I reviewed the aim of the project and review what I have done in the past. Okay, we can also put this in the shade of green. What were the changes that I made? Okay, I have limited space, so some parts I don't record. Yes, so this is the situation now until I figure out what to do about these large video files. I made changes to the to-do list, and I recorded them in different colors and also in italics. So I, as I was thinking about the project, and if I had some idea or a to-do task, I put it on the to-do list. And I started compiling the observational notes files uh, to make it more organized, to make the observing notes more organized. Yes, and I did it mostly here in the this is my in G Drive observing ground preparation and notes. I have some here. So I cleaned up a bit what we have to do in the how to spectroscopy of FOSC file. The next, in particular, the next few steps. Because I'm using a how-to file from ages ago, from when I started my PhD program. First of all, from a text document on my hard drive, I copied it into a G drive, so we can now change the last updated date, and I started kind of modernizing this part. I have to change still, but basically it's an alpha spectroscopy reduction procedure. And last time we did preparation of the data, I'm using my NASA mentors kind of color scheme. If I have finished something, I put it in green. If I'm working on something and it needs to be done, this orange kind of orangish color. So yeah, I started kind of cleaning up and updating the instructions for this project, because even for this project, I need to repeat the procedure because I have observations from 4 days. And so I have to repeat parts of this procedure, and each day has several objects that have been observed. So it will help me also to keep track for myself. It's not just for the video tutorial. So I cleaned up a bit. So to do with audience record the path. So I have done that. We have a path to my working directory. To do with audience, start working on the to-do list, 3 points. So we have a large to-do list. we have to start working on it. And I think the first one is to organize the to-do list. So actually, let's put this first. So we have to organize a to-do list. It's a long to-do list. And let's group let's group it into maybe topics. That's what I was thinking. Maybe organization to-dos. Put observing notes records into electronic directory under my research as a quasar folder. Okay, I have done it. I have organized it. So this is done. We can, I think, let's put it into okay. So I did that. Organization to do's. Put how-to files into a new directory. I sort of have done it. Backup procedure for dusty quasars. This is a big one. Publish all of my how-to files for community project idea. So this is a project idea and it doesn't really relate to this project per se. So I have kind of a file where I put project ideas and things like that into, and I can come back to it if I have time. Reviewed the video changes in this file, the project type of dusty quasars. Yes. So I don't know, last time I made a mistake. The project is dusty quasars. And also last updated, I should have put first the month, then the date, started date. Okay, yes, add details of the procedure. I think it's done. Add the full file path to the research notes. And where exactly is everything kept? Create a Google Drive direct for all the dusty. This is done. So video tasks. To review the video, maybe. Other. We'll do miscellaneous. I think we don't need other. Post the video. This is all. I'm just gonna even, okay, maybe for record keeping. This is very important and it is part of organization and I'm gonna put it into red because it's critical. Post the video. Think how to publish the video on my website. Yeah, should I advertise somewhere? Publish ASAP to the archives. This is manuscript related. Later, write parts that I can already write it to the paper. Let's do this one. Talk about organization. This what to talk. We already did working tab folder for work. Actually, we already did that. Encouraging quotes around me. I would put maybe encouragement, self-encouragement category. It's important. Review which objects were observed with the not schools included in a paper. This is science. Stars, where to give stars. Actually, yeah. Deal with the space running out issue on G drive. This will be here. Part of organization. Tasks to do EON EOR reports. Did I put so at the end? It's good to write to do next. What to do next? I have it. Organization. This is also organization. Separate TO files. Yes. Claim lost time. Are my quasars never follow-up observations? Where are my handwritten observing notes from the observing ground? I have to find. Okay, so I kind of sorted my to-dos, and I have also crossed out some which were done. I'll just copy here because I want to delete the ones actually that we have done. So it's not so overwhelming. All right, cool. And later I have a copy if I need it for the video. All right, so let's tackle 3 to-dos. Deal with the space, writing out issue on the drive. I can't. I probably have to buy more space. Organization. At the end of the day, write what to do next. This I can do. So now I have in my procedure this step of what to do next. Backup procedure for dusty quasar files. Yes, I have to do that also. So I have some sort of backup, but it's not so good. And I have to be systematic, like monthly backup or something like that. Video tasks I'll do later. Let's put it, this is like my own to do. And manuscripts. Write parts that I can already write into the paper. So I can already write something about observations. Observation, data, result, I don't know. It's, I think, a recurring task, sort of. So let's put it into the procedure. Writing the paper draft as we go as well. Write already into the paper the parts that I can. So I can mark it off. Yes, I don't need to. So what can be right from the observation? So here is my um, current draft, and here is my previous paper. And there are several papers, but this one is the most closely aligns with what I have done. So I can kind of follow similar structure at first. I can already add sections into my draft. I have introduction, example, observations, and data analysis, section on results. Did I have a separate discussion? So, summary and conclusions. One difference is that I published in MNRIS, but right now I don't have funding, so oops. I will publish ANA. So this is I have not published with it before, so some things may be different than the MNRAS draft or guidelines. What we will see. So I have introduction to sample observations and data analysis results. So for observations, I can already write. So what did we write last time? So observations were performed is the Nordic Alfosk. This Alfosk. Alhambra. It's very Alhambra faint object spectrograph and camera, right? At the Nordic Optical Telescope. During 4 nights. So I know it has been 4 nights. Did I ever write let's say 15 to 18? Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. 23. Observing proposal IDs. Okay. And later I can add also what grism I used. We can actually see also here. Grism used was we used grism number 7. All right. With 1.3, 1.3 arcsec. Okay. And we can reach here I can put wavelength range. So already here we use grid number 7. Okay, for example, right? Didn't like it. Doesn't like this one. And here I already know I can prepare a table, targets or objects, targets, make a table and make a figure is the quasar field as well. So targets, objects, and observational run details such as X time, etc. So I can prepare it. Let's see. Organize a to-do list. We did start working on the to-do list. Yes, we worked on more than 3. We wrote parts of it. And then what is an EON report? Okay, yeah, let's put this in green. What is an EON report? After each night of observations, I get an end of night report, and it looks something like this. So maybe let's make it bigger. Here's the date of the observation, proposal ID, the observer, name of the program, the instrument, staff on duty at the observatory, time lost due to technical reasons was 0. So very interesting. We had a large chunk of time, 4 hours, lost due to weather. Didn't have any target of opportunity interruptions. The sunset, etc. times, and humidity, temperature, can see. So what happened? Wind speed, humidity was high. So humidity was high, and I had to interrupt my looks like observations. And these are all of the files, a list of all the files in sequence for that night, including calibrations and your science. So now we have to spend a little bit of time understanding what are these files, because when I download the files for the night, I get all of these files. Which file is what, which one to use. So you have to understand. In this headings for each column, there are some explanations. So this is a file name, the FITS file name, the proposal ID object, some explanation. So this is, for example, here I can see this is a blank field. This is a name of a standard star, this name of my object, array and deck, the field, rotating angle. Yeah, so this is important because the long slit is at an angle in my case. Air mass, the lower air mass, the better. The time, universal time, in this case, the exposure. So by exposure time, I can see that, for example, for this target, QSO 103, I had 1800 second exposures, 3 of them, and a very short exposure. For some reason, probably those 3 were good enough, and I changed my mind and decided not to do the last one. It's good to have at least 3 exposures. And we can see I observed the second target 4 times. It was probably faint. And a third target I started observing and only got 1 exposure, not even full 1800, until the weather changed to the point where we couldn't observe. Okay. And here's information about the slit. This is information about the grazon. These are pixel measurements of the file, bin, okay. I don't usually use these 3, but looks like they're open. It's path. So also, this is a filter. Okay. Looks like it's where you put a filter to take an image. That filter. Okay. So this is your EON report. You can see that these are my science targets, helium neon, some other calibrations that it does. I think we can end looking over the EON report here and mark it done. Demo discussion, record points that would go into the paper. I don't know. So observed 2 targets, it looks like QSO 103 and QSO 121. I'm not sure if exactly it's gonna go into the paper, but it's important. QSO 12012 didn't make it. Only got one partial exposure. Bad weather conditions for 4 hours. So need to submit claim for time back. And this is done. I have never done it, but there is this not fast track service program. And apparently you can, like in the case you are requesting observations to compensate for time lost due to interruptions by observations for TO monitoring programs, then you can do this. Constraints. Let's see, does it say anything about weather? Scope of proposal, only short programs are accepted. Self-contained projects, for example, if you had bad weather. So I remembered it correctly. And since we had bad weather, for 4 hours, in 4 hours, I could have observed. Maybe we can claim some time back and get observations done for this object. So I will say try to get observations for QSO 012 done via the fast track compensation program. So again, I've never done this, but it's a to-do, and I will transfer it to my to-dos. And I had here claim lost time. Mm. Was there anything that would go in the paper? We already did it, a lot of it. Update the paper, check limits the, let's see. This one we can do green. Let's do check mark type. Add sections we did. We can do observations, which figures tables can I do already? So I'll work on those figures, and I'll show you the one from the previous paper. For example, this is a table of observations. You have here the name of the object, its coordinates, its redshift, which telescope was used. Well, in my case, it was not, so I don't need it, and some other information. And here, these are the quasar field images, and I think this I have to do for my new paper as well. Acknowledgements, I already have. Last time we added acknowledgements for note cleanup. So let's start cleaning up. I can close this. So we leave our desk nice and tidy, our desktop. Which journal overlay, etc. discusses. I already discussed a little bit that I use overlay, and I'm gonna do A and A because it's free for Finnish astronomers. Save a copy of the written draft on my computer as well. It's so little the information that I want, but typically if I make a lot of changes, I save frequently the drafts on my computer as well. So I did record everything, acknowledgements, writing the paper draft as we go. This is just review, right? Already into the paper the parts that I can. Organization, keeping records, electronic files in your computer, paper notes, yes, 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 list of questions, list of things to read, list of things to read, list of things to do. Let's add these sections to my to-do list. List of things to read, list of questions. And I think how to do the claim for time back on the telescope for lost time. Need to read that. And I'll put the link there. Okay. This I will have to do on my own website, post the how-to. I started posting on my website. I think the point is that I will be posting as I go, posting how-tos as I go as a strategy. It's a little bit difficult to, I don't know what is a complication about posting how-tos on a website, because people's projects are different. There are different instruments, different observatories are used. So I don't know I have to think about how to package it to make it applicable to other projects as well. But anyway, I can start somewhere, and I did. So I went to my, website, and I created a page reducing the spectroscopy data from ALPHOSC, and I put something about the documentation. And let's exit the visual builder and save it. Yeah. Okay, so now it's saved. So now on my website, there is a little bit about documentation organization for a science project. What is the next step? What is the next step? Before we do it, I guess I didn't put it here. I wanted to discuss the example row above, I guess, of a quasar example. And what do I mean? So I have 4 nights of observations, and in each night I have several objects that I have observed. Let's say in this September 15th night, I observed 3 objects. This doesn't count that much because there's only 1 exposure. Maybe we will get some information for it, a redshift or something. So 2 objects. And to make it more manageable, this tutorial, I wanted to show you to focus on this one object, on this one quasar observations. And I put, based on the EON report here, I read that these are the files of the quasar exposure itself and all of the associated acquisition files, helium neon exposure, the calibration files, and standard star observation files. I also put all into one folder. So I looked up their file names. This is a file name direct column, and put them copied into this directory, QSO 103. And then now we have to understand, if we follow the procedure, what we have to do, we have to a little bit make sense of what these files are, because there are some calibration files, acquisition files, standard star observation files, and also FITS files pertaining to the quasar spectrum exposures. So to do that, I put all of these files into a list, and the way I do it is by using terminal. So I go to my directory. This is my directory. This is my directory for this quasar. And then these are also files. And if I put ls also files, which have fits ending to go to a list, if I give this command, then I get a list of files. And then I can read this list, for example, look, and copy it, into my records and start identifying. And it's a little bit copy paste, but towards understanding. So there are, and I already had it, so I will delete this file because I don't need it. Move to trash and clean the trash. It's already had it here. We can maybe work here in Sublime. And you can do some tutorials. And now I can tell who is who, which file is which file. Where's my Chrome? Here. And where is my... So I can tell that 61 to 64, these are quasar exposures. And this one is short exposure, right? So let's separate them. These are my quasar exposures. And then what is 65? It's a helium neon. So let's say calibration, helium neon. 77 to 81 are my halogen calibrations. What else is here? 60 is also helium neon. It just says that I understand what's going on with my files. Even though it's here. These are acquisition 59 to 56. And then if you do many of this, maybe you don't need to do this manually like this, but this is for my brain to get into the data. 46 to 49 are also acquisition. Um, 50 is a standard star. 51, 52, 53 is also acquisition. So like, why is there twice the standard star? We'll have to investigate what happened. Maybe I made a mistake. And 55 is focus. All right, let's see why. What happened here? Maybe there was something wrong. And this is what do I have to do? I have to go to my handwritten observing notes. Or so I have to go, we do QSO 103, I believe, right? QSO 103. So we have a question. Why are there two standard star exposures? What happened? Goes through my night records. offset observing night. So I have to investigate this. To-do list, science. Mhm. Okay. Take this and copy it here. Just for my example. And then it will be similar to this data. Yeah. So what is my PA angle? So questions. Why are there two third star observations for QSO 103? What is the PA angle for this observation? So that also I have to find question mark, question mark. Mhm. So we did that. We did this and all of identify with, oh, okay. We are done here. We will stop here, but we have to, just one small thing I say about, we still have to do this. So this is our next step to check that we're using homogeneous data and start using iRough. That's next. I will put it here. My next step. Questions we can also put into a blue. So I showed the example. This can be green. This question. Mhm. Maybe I repeat myself in a few places, but better safe than sorry. Повторение мать учения. Repetition is mother of learning. In Russian, they say, what's the next step? I did say, these are some things that I have to do myself. And then evaluation, basically, how is everyone feeling? It might be intimidating, to start a project, especially if you don't remember all the parts. But it's okay to make mistakes. You don't have to think that you will be perfect. Just take step at a time. To overcome negative feelings, I try to believe in myself and that, my voice matters or my thoughts matter. What else? Obviously, to try to make this shorter, but it's hard. Happy about starting and accomplishing. Yes, I'm very happy about starting and accomplishing these two tutorials. I love doing research. It's this is what I like to do, and any difficulties in research I feel like are luxury problems. So sweet candy problems. If so much on my plate, there's hard to focus, remove distractions. Yeah. So I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to focus on this project and to prepare it in a way to share it with you, with the public. So let's clean up, right? It was our cleanup should really be here at the end. This is for me to do those last two steps after I'm done recording, but basically I don't need any of this. I close them all. I close this, make sure you save everything. Oh, to show you, um, there was one thing I forgot, sorry. But basically, did I put it here? Quasar example. Maybe here I would put show an example of what fits file looks like. What does one exposure look like? You know, there are many different files look differently, different calibration files look differently. But just because I study spectroscopy, I opened one of these exposures and I highlighted them with a green dot. So I opened the first exposure for QSO 103, and this is how it looks like. There are actually 5 spectra. This is a very faint one. This was 1800 seconds. So this is how it looks like. It is open with SAO image, and I had to click scale and this scale in order to be able to see that this setting. If I click on 64, look, you cannot see anything because it was only, I don't know, less than 100 seconds, I believe, of exposure time. So you can see that you need to expose a long time in order to get a signal. Now, I observed QSO 103, and there are 4 spectra and a faint one. What happened? It's because the slit intercepts several objects, and to understand which spectrum is corresponding to which object, that's why I need to make this figure. This is one of my next things on the to-do list. And you can see there are many bright specks from cosmic rays. And in order to get rid of those, that's why I take several exposures, because then we combine them and these cosmic rays don't usually hit the same spot. By taking a median or something like that, then I'm able to get a clearer, better signal for my spectrum. Okay, so and these are raw images. They have not been processed through any sort of correction such as bias, flat, etc. But you can already see the spectrum. So is the fun begins, the fun almost begins, but it is good to open the acquisition file. I think 48 was its acquisition is an image file. This is a acquisition file for a star. Now the acquisition file, this is not acquisition. Yeah, no, it is. It is. Um, Now this is the acquisition file for the quasar or the galaxy, whatever I was observing. And then when you put the slit, you no longer have an image that shows you the full field, because the slit now gives you image that is of the light that can go through that slit. Most of the image is blocked, and the slit allows the light only from that one object in principle to go through. But of course, in our case, I tried to position the slit also on purpose to cover 2 objects so that it's so competitive, first of all, to get telescope time. And then, some of it can get lost due to weather. So I try to um, not monopolize, I don't remember the correct good word for it, but to use the long slit to try and get 2 galaxies times 3 galaxies spectra with one slit so that I get more data, more objects, because it's important for my project. Of course, I cannot put too many because it also needs to be of a high quality. So that's why I also angle the slit. I put it at different angles in order to capture more than one galaxy neighbors of the quasar in my quasar, um, for the quasars that I'm interested in. Okay, but these are what the FITS images look like and what we will be working on. So I close the EON report. I close this and this. This calypso I don't need. This I don't need. Downloads are okay. This I also can exit so that our screen is clean and we are not overwhelmed. And I just want to make sure that I have put somewhere, I thought I did. Absolute quasars to-do list. I think I put it in here, how to spectroscopy, but I should put it also, yes, into my research notes, because first we are gonna do this and then this. So identify which spectrum corresponds to which object. Next time we will do make a figure and make a table of all files with identification, what types of files they are. But we already did that. We already did that. Okay. And because we have done it, I don't need to have it in orange anymore. And this will be in orange and bigger. I can see. I have done till here. I will say that ended work on 22. Okay. Yes. Now this is our research notes. We had some questions. We know what to do next. And I wrote some important information. I guess I can write here also that, what object we working on 15th of September night on object QSO103 spectrum. This is also our object. Yes. Okay. And I think that's it. I will close this and I will stop sharing and I will